The Brothers of Liberty, here to remind you what true freedom is. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Liberty with the older brother Kelton here. Um, you know, been thinking with everything going on and stuff, haven't really discussed about the elections and how we are supposedly in a democracy, but are we truly in a democracy? Now, technically, we are not in a democracy. We're actually in a federal republic, which there is a difference. That's why we elect representatives and why it's all based on individuality and individual freedoms. Because of democracy, the majority can simply say, we want to take your house. A lot of people don't realize that. But even then, what the United States started off as to what it is today is not a democracy. I mean, let's face it. Everybody always says that you waste your vote on a third party politician that's either vote Republican or Democrat, and the lesser of two evils. Um, and I wish I could say that I got this idea from me. I mean, I've said it before, but this particular video came from an idea from when I was watching clips from Boston Legal. And mainly Alan Shore. Now, Alan Shore is at least in the show, he's a lawyer who, say that he's a liberal Democrat. He seems more libertarian and independent, especially some of the points that he makes throughout the show. Denny Crane is the hardcore Republican, and they share a friendship. But that's another video for another time. This particular episode I'm gonna discuss has to do with the season 4 episode called Indecent Proposals. Now, the show is written by David E. Kelly, which is a genius if you haven't seen other shows. But in this particular one, Alan Shore compares the Democrats and Republicans to Pepsi and Coke, and pretty much saying that we only have two choices. No one ever looks at RC Cola, which is the Libertarian Independence, the minor parties, and he's correct. Um, the system is rigged up where you only have two candidates. Now, is that really a democracy? Oh yeah, we get to vote between the two, at least in most cases. Other cases, there's fraud and things like that, but we won't get into that in this video here. I know YouTube's like, oh, let's ax them. If you have to cancel somebody for saying that, then there has to be some truth behind it. Just remember that, YouTube. I'm here on Rumble too, so you can't silence me, and I'll be sure to post in all the other places as well. But anyway, and he's right. I mean, it's always Pepsi, Coke, Wild Cherry Pepsi, Cherry Coke. I prefer Cheerwine myself, which is a completely different brand, not associated with those two. But to get back to the Republicans and Democrats, Biden Trump, Obama Romney, Obama McCain, Bush Kerry, Bush Gore. As you see, the list goes on and on. You never hear about that third party candidate. And when you try to vote third party, oh, you don't throw away your votes. Now, a lot of third party candidates and independents do get in the local elections, and that's where it needs to change. We need to start voting these third party candidates in the local and then help them rise up. Don't try to start off big, start off small and get multiple parties in there. Because, in my opinion, there should be no party names. It should be everyone an independent, and we vote on the views, not the party, which other people do. A lot of people I know will go, oh, Republican, 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 oh, Democrat, 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 Democrat. And, you should be voting on who's the best candidate, not because of the party. We clearly, we clearly didn't get the best candidate in 2020. And like I said, there's opinions about that, which I have a few of my own that will get me canceled. But remember, they're all about freedom and tolerance. But just like the Nazi Germany, if you spread misinformation, we got to cancel you. Whose misinformation is it? The media and the party in power controls what misinformation is. If you truly are media source and truly for freedom of speech, there will be no censorship. But there's still censorship. I wonder why. And I'm always going to say vote my conscience. You want to say I'm throwing my vote away? No, you're throwing your vote away because you're actually listening. You say everything, the system is wrong and flawed, but, and you want to destroy, people want to destroy the electoral college system. But just remember, the Republicans don't have super delegates. The Democrats do, where they can in turn vote for delegates that the people did not vote for because they're super duper delegates, as Alan Shore said. Yes, I took a few things from Boston Legal, and I must cite the source because, like I said, I don't do perjury or nothing. And like I said, I wish this was a original idea, but it's not. It came from the writer of David E. Kelly, and whoever wrote the episode Indecent Proposals in season 4 of Boston Legal, and he was right. And this was back in 2007, 2006, but when the elections were going on, the primaries. So let's face it. Do we really have a choice anymore? And if you want to listen to say you're throwing your vote away for a third party candidate, you have to remind yourself, where is that source coming from? Is it coming from the mainstream media? Is it coming from other Republican and Democrats? Because I can tell you right now, both parties have tried to shut out third party candidates in local elections and in other elections where the third party candidate could win. Even the supposed independent people from Maine and Vermont, Bernie Sanders and the senator from Maine, they're not truly independent. They side with the Democrat caucus. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's a two-party system, and their voices won't be heard. So even though they claim to be independent, they switch Democrats. If the House majority really reflect on what you are on your ticket, the Republicans would have the majority because there's two independents that just identify on the Democrat caucus. Just remember that the next time you're filling out a ballot. But that's just my opinion. What's your opinion? Like, share, subscribe. And unlike the two-party system, everyone on this channel, everyone who comments here does have a voice. I'm not going to silence you. That's what freedom of speech is. And if you have any topics you want to discuss, Brothers of Liberty 76 at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And once again, I am the older brother reminding you what true freedom is and ought to be. And sometimes that's listening to opinions and hearing opinions you may or may not like. But at the end of the day, we got to remember, divided we fall, united we stand. And the government does not want us united, which is why it keeps us trying to be divided, especially with this two-party system. Have a good day.